The National Transportation Safety Board will direct an examination concerning a crash including a Tesla Model S and a fire truck that occurred on an expressway in the Los Angeles zone prior this week. In the January 22 crash, a Model S car race finished a fire truck that was stopped in the crisis path and was reacting to another mishap, the Mercury News detailed. Nobody was harmed in the crash, which made substantial frontal harm to the Model S and some harm to the back left area of the fire truck. Incredibly, there were no wounds. If you don't mind, remain alarm while driving, the Culver City Firefighters Union said in a tweet. The driver of the Model S, who was the main individual in the vehicle, purportedly said that the Autopilot driver help framework was locked in at the season of the crash, as indicated by the Mercury News. In any case, it has not completely been set up by exploring offices that Autopilot was in actuality connected with at the season of the crash or in the seconds before the crash. As in past accidents including Autopilot, it is normal that the auto's PC will have the capacity to give specialists from the NTSB and the automaker telemetry information from the episode. This will be the second examination including Tesla's Autopilot driver help framework by the NTSB. In 2016, the office researched a deadly Florida crash including a Model S in which Autopilot utilized was in the end affirmed. In that episode, a Model S drove under the trailer of a semi-truck at a fast, ripping the rooftop off the auto and slaughtering the driver. The NTSB confirmed that truck driver's inability to yield the privilege of way and an auto driver's distractedness because of over-reliance on vehicle mechanization were the reasonable justification of the crash. Propelled driver assistance systems, for example, Tesla's Autopilot, require the non-stop and complete consideration of the driver to screen the activity condition and be set up to make a move to maintain a strategic distance from crashes, the NTSA expressed at the finish of the report of the deadly Florida crash. Mechanized emergency braking frameworks have been created to help in staying away from or relieving backside impacts. The frameworks have restrictions and may not generally identify dangers or give notices or programmed braking sufficiently early to stay away from impacts. Albeit maybe not as particular as it could be, Tesla has given data about framework constraints in the proprietor's manuals, UI and related notices, cautions, and in addition a driver checking framework that is proposed to help the driver in staying occupied with the driving assignment constantly. Drivers should read all directions and notices gave in proprietor's manuals to aid his advances and know about framework restrictions. In the weeks following the Florida crash, Tesla distributed a blog entry reminding clients to keep their hands on the guiding wheel while utilizing Autopilot, and IT in this manner made the framework more stringent with regards to checking the activities of the driver. The most astonishing finding of the deadly Florida crash test was the NTSB's assurance that the Autopilot framework couldn't recognize the truck crossing the street straightforwardly in its way and was not in any case intended to do as such. The Tesla's robotized vehicle control framework was not intended to, and proved unable, distinguish the truck crossing the Tesla's way or perceive the looming crash, the NTSB said in an announcement. Subsequently, the framework did not moderate the auto, the forward impact cautioning framework did not give an alarm, and the programmed crisis braking did not actuate. In the wake of a few crashes in which Autopilot utilized was suspected or affirmed, Tesla has confronted feedback for exaggerating the capacities of the framework and for not planning more noteworthy security components into the framework that would constrain appropriate use. Tesla needed to retrain store staff in China after it was promoted that the autos were showcased as self-driving, an interpretation disaster was faulted, and that store staff gave exhibit rides to planned clients while keeping their hands off the directing for noteworthy time frames.